Welcome to the Higher Learning Commission's review of the criteria for accreditation. We are going to focus in this session on Criterion 1, the mission. My name is Jeff Rosen. I'm Vice President for Accreditation Relations and Director of the Open Pathway. We'll focus on each of the core components in this criterion, and we'll also discuss examples of evidence. Because an institution's mission will guide most of its activities as an educational institution, the Commission expects that the institution has defined its mission clearly and articulates it publicly. The Commission also expects that the mission guides the institution's operations. The four core components in Criterion 1 relate to this core principle. There are many ways to think about the impact that a mission has on an institutional campus. The culture of the campus, for one, is impacted majorly. The role of the governing board plays a significant part in defining campus life. The way that the campus organizes itself as a transparent organization, as an organization of integrity, and one of responsibility, is often a reflection of its mission. The Commission expects that all educational institutions share a dual commitment, and that is a commitment to the public good and a commitment to higher education. But these ideas will be expressed differently by different institutions with different missions. The first core component asks you to demonstrate that the institution's mission is broadly understood within the institution and that the mission guides the institution's operations. Therefore, there are a number of kinds of evidence that can be assembled to demonstrate this. For example, how does the institution understand and fulfill its historical mission? To what extent does the governing board and administrative review team improve the mission periodically? How is the institution's budget and its allocation of resources a reflection of the mission? To what extent does the enrollment profile reflect the institution's mission? And to what extent does the institution responsible in communicating to all of its constituents and stakeholders what it stands for and how it operates? Examples of how the institution articulates its mission publicly is the focus of core component 1B. Documents that might be assembled might include some of the following: publications or other evidence that demonstrates that the information about the mission is available to all constituents or stakeholders, as well as the general public. Evidence including documentation that the mission is expressed through its policies and that these are refined over time and aligned to the mission. Some examples might be guidebooks or handbooks. Or documents that demonstrate that the mission is represented in the institution's recruitment materials for its programs and services. Other examples along these lines might also be included. Core Component 1C asks the institution to demonstrate that it understands the relationship between its mission and the diversity of society. The Commission would expect to see different kinds of evidence to this effect through the institution's policy manuals, its procedures and processes, its hiring guidelines, and its strategic planning. Issues of diversity and inclusion should be addressed by the institution in each one of these documents. Another example is related to the student demographics and enrollment strategies pursued by the institution, as well as on campus, how student organizations on and off-campus centers, student learning outcomes, and other activities express this understanding. The Commission also expects that the institution's mission will reflect and demonstrate a commitment to the public good, and this is the focus of core component 1D. Various kinds of evidence can be assembled to demonstrate that the institution has a commitment to the public good. These might include various community connections through outreach, community partnerships, or community engagement. One might compile a list of public events to which the community is invited, or document community partnerships or other collaborations. Community engagement and service learning activities that engage the academic mission to the community are the most concrete examples of demonstrating a commitment to the public good. The specific kinds of evidence that we have been looking at here for Criterion 1 on the mission of an institution and each one of the core components in Criterion 1 will differ for every institution. There are additional ideas that you can look at in the document that we have provided called Providing Evidence for the Criteria for Accreditation on HLC's website. In addition, the ways in which these pieces of evidence are used by the assurance argument narratives are also available on HLC's website. Please examine these as you construct your narrative for your assurance argument.